Yo, what is going on, everybody? Hope you are well. We're going to do a bit of a replay analysis here, and then after we have got the marbles tournament match, I guess, to win a free coaching session. So stay tuned if you have left a book review, if you are on the higher tier of the Patreon support, because we will do a marbles race after to win a free coaching session. And because it is Christmas and the festive month has just begun, I'm going to do some replay reviews every week. So if you are in the Discord, send some replays into a room I've created called Replay Review. Chuck them in there. Put your rank. Put your style of play. All the details actually be in the room. And I'll pick them. And I want to go between the ranks just to see what the common flaws are in each rank. Now, right now, we're just going to watch this game while I just chat in the background. But we're going to look at Daniel here. There's been a lot of hype around Daniel. A couple of people have been mentioning Daniel for being an extremely solid defensive player. I was actually going to do a Zen replay analysis, but I want things that are, how do I say this, achievable. Things Daniel does are very much, I think you could put them into your game. There are things that Zen does that, although you could put them into your game, for example, the biggest thing that I think one of the reasons Zen is better than anyone else, after watching him extensively recently, is his ability to hover. So he always hovers directly in the middle, always slightly towards the net, but it's the speed at which he gets up that is quite remarkable. So he'll get up and just read things almost before the player does. However, that's actually the reason he gets scored on. So if you're ever going to play Zen and you've got a bouncing ball, just go low and cut him field, because that worked back to back against him and nothing else would. So anyway, I thought, well, do we cover that or do we go for Daniel, a player who we can learn a lot from, and you can incorporate certain things that he does that many players do at these higher ranks that you could add into your game. You don't have to, but you can add them in. And you're also going to see some reasons why some things aren't so great. You know, the top players are doing that could potentially be improved here. As we watch Daniel, notice he's matching the height of the ball. So there are certain fundamentals, good read, that no matter what style of play you do, are extremely good. Now, Daniel, known really, known by casuals for his mechanics and what he can do, but known more so as a defensive style player, as our NRG. But here's the thing, we've done so many reviews on Beast Mode, his teammate, and you know how great his fundamentals are. But actually, recently Beast Mode has been playing really poorly into low percentage plays, which is why he's not really ranking very well. But I don't know if this is part of a bigger plan. I don't know, because it doesn't even look like him playing. So I don't know if he's changing his style to throw people off ready for the RLCS 2v2. I'm not sure what's going on, but I can't wait for that. I am so excited to see the RLCS 2v2. And it should be a lot of fun. Of course, I know these players will probably be competing in the freeze as well. I don't know how it works. I don't know if you can compete in all of them. But there we go. Nice little flip reset there to pop it high. And yeah, it's really interesting seeing the actual, the speed of this game is extremely slow. This is the most recent one I could find in 2s. And the speed, the average speed is like in the 60s. So I'm not even making that up. Let me just have it loaded at the side here while it's going on. So speed, movement, players. So Daniel is the second slowest player in this game. Where is he? There he is. A 64 speed, percentage of max speed. Nawafi is at 63. Peace Control Plexi at 65. And Kairos at 66. And this is right when Daniel was actually ranked 1. So he got ranked 1 when he grinded a bit early season. Less players to play in NA, so quite impressive. But definitely different styles when you look at this compared to EU. EU definitely seems much quicker paced, I will say that, and much more clinical. It seems much more clinical. The blocks and the 50s are coming in much quicker. Whereas here, yeah, they don't seem to be as crazy, but that's a great save from Plexi. And again, good little shadow fake. And what you'll notice here, in general in the pro game, there's not a lot of dive. There isn't. The dives are more so to prevent certain plays. Like there, for example, how many of you would have jumped off the wall and just dove at that ball? I would argue that 99% of you guys would have. And and we're all part of a sort of a community, I could say, that tends to be more focused on not diving and winning the percentages, but you'll still get pulled into it. And one of the biggest things I always say to people, there's two main reasons people tend to struggle below Grand Champ and even in Grand Champ. And the first is they attack really aggressively on low percentage. So they'll just dive into the corner, dive into the backboard, and that actually allows space to give a greater angle to shoot. And the other thing is they get too involved as second man. And I think that's what makes Daniel so good here. He's found a really, look at this hover. Look how he's moving back towards his net. Beautiful. Perfect technique. But I think that's something Daniel's really good at. He does get close on occasion, but look how far back he is compared to most players. He's not rushing in there trying to create a second man. And that's why he's so easy for players to duo queue with. You often hear that people say he's such an easy player to play with, and that is one of the reasons why. Again, doesn't dive in there, waits for the play, makes the save. And you notice the difference there. I mean, I know there's a 0 seconds left, but his teammate goes for a ball as second man that he didn't need to, and that would have gave them the goal. All right, here we go. So let's have a look at what we can learn from Daniel specifically, but also any of these players. They're all really good players, and I'm sure we can learn some stuff, and also we can give some constructive criticism. That's not a problem. You can absolutely do that. And people go, mad about that sort of stuff, but that's why there are coaches and analysts. Anyway, so kickoff is one, got the boost grab, ball goes up, and this is similar to one of the reasons I didn't do the Zen replay, is that he can do these reads so quick. And so can Daniel. He knows it's going up and he's already up there. So we now need to look at this from a defensive standpoint. And this is also something you can use in your free, so you can just take this straight away. If you're rotating back post, okay, let me get my pen. So you're rotating back post, or whichever, right? One of you, if you see someone with boost, okay, on the backboard, you should not go up the backboard yourself. You should cover the ground. How do you know who when it's like so even like this? Because normally it would be back post and it'd be more obvious. So basically, as you rotate in back post, in freeze especially, always look to see if your first man or second man is on the backboard. If they are, stay back post. If they're not, go up here. Okay, that way you've always got someone on the backboard. In this situation, how do you know whose it is in twos in this situation? It's whoever's got the highest boost should go up. So here, Plexi should actually quickly switch out of ball cam and back into ball cam, which, by the way, is why I believe you should have fast transitions. And I've noticed that when I was watching Zen, his is extremely quick now. That's definitely gone up. So here, you want to look across. Okay, he's there. I'll let him go up, and I'm going to cover low. I believe they both go up, which opens up the floor, basically. So you'll see here, they both go up. Now imagine if you're Plexi here, you don't go up, and there's an easy save. All right? And that's just a game sense thing. Easy to pick, but let's see if they could have seen that. You see? Oops. So the reason they can't see this is too much ball cam. Often I say to people, why to play the ball up high? Because it blinds your opponent. They're blinded now. Their awareness has dropped. Now, if they got to this position here and quickly flicked in and out of ball cam, bang, bang. That's why I love it at 2. I'm in position. I know exactly what's going on. Right, I'm going to go low. And there's a free possession. Okay, something to consider. Great placement by Daniel. But again, this, when people get really good at that, and obviously if they were in comms, this is an extremely dangerous play by Daniel. Because essentially he's fully in there. And it would have been a pass. You imagine now, because he's committed. Boom, we get the save. Bam, bam, there is an open net. You will see that because his teammates facing forward. Maybe they did that because they knew they were going to go up. But I wouldn't count your blessings on that one. Let's have a look at the next play here. Taking it again on the kickoff. They seem pretty good on the kickoff here. And a good follow. So it looks like they went for a delayed kickoff. Or a slower kickoff from Kairos. So it goes back. And then boom. Notice at this level, everyone follows the kickoff. Also notice that they don't jab it. A bit of a misconception in these lobbies and in ranked in general is that if you follow up on the kickoff, you should jab it, which is not true. Okay, we love jabs here. I love jabs, but the reason a jab is dangerous here because you can't see the opponent and it's all going crazy. So if they dive on this and you jab it, you're going to get dunked because it's so hard to do the distance because you haven't managed to make a play yet. So always dodge into that like you're taking a 50. And you can actually see that Plexi drove into it to jab it, which is why they just get the ball shot over the top of them. So whenever you're following up a kickoff, You have to dodge and jump into the ball in those situations. Okay, remember, on a kickoff, you can be more aggressive for like 2 or 3 seconds after a kickoff, because basically it's one of the few plays in the game where everyone's screwed. So if you can get a little bit of aggression, you're going to do well. Now, here's a big thing you can add to your game today, right now, this second. When you are rotating ball side, which is absolutely fine to do, by the way, okay? What you do not want to do is rotate back post here. People who tell you to rotate away from the ball here, whatever, don't listen to them, okay? Because you need someone on the ball, especially in the SSL ranks and the higher ranks, because the game is so much quicker. You basically have to try and narrow their path to offense. By doing these big swinging rotations that I see people do, you give up space. So when you are rotating ball side in this situation, or you are going back, always, whenever you hit this corner boost, always go up the backboard. This should be a default play. A default play. There are a couple of reasons. The first is that, of course, you will match the height of the ball here. You will be able to get vision. If you look, before Daniel goes up the wall, the vision he has, okay, not bad at all. Even better. Look at that beautiful vision. Notice he quickly comes out of ball camera to get an even extended vision here. So always do this. He's nice and high, thinking more about blocking high. The reason, again, you also go high. So first of all, you block high, you block the backboard, which is where everyone likes to expose. It gives you a dodge. You can jump off and into things. It costs less boost. So now we've already got 3 good things. But what else? Well, if this player sweeps in here and this ball comes across, we are not going to hit each other. If Daniel leaves the backboard onto the ground and I'm driving forward to hit this ball, let's say it's like across the floor, bonk, we're going to hit each other. Open net. So by them staying high, you staying low, you can take the ball and make a good play there. My only criticism here is, well, I thought Daniel had the boost, so maybe this is a glitch. He does have the boost. Yep. So my only criticism here, does he have the boost? What the hell is that all about? Is that I think Daniel should have gone off earlier than waiting here. And if you are going to go off in these situations, you have to dodge into it. I can tell you why he didn't dodge, because he wants the possession. He doesn't want to throw it away. It is a very common thing. But sometimes you've got to just make a good save first, then scramble. And essentially what you want to do is make saves, make good saves, until you get a save that it's safe to do this sort of stuff where you don't have to dodge into it. But a dodge to the right there will ping the ball away. But also what I have found effective is giving yourself a cushion. So sort of jumping off now. Okay, before it used to be as late as possible, but this guy's already commit. So jump off here and try and reach the 50. Try and actually reach into this 50 here, because now you've got a bit more of a cushion. Don't get me wrong, you are reaching, which is never a good thing to do. But in this situation here, you're better to disrupt him a little bit earlier to give your team a bit of a cushion for stuff like that. I don't think there's anything the teammate could have done here. Let's have a look. Good idea. You know, it's a shame. All they had to do was just change their mindset a little bit. Good to go into net. Okay, that's exactly what you should do. Go into the net. Again, as we see here, they're not going for wide for boost. They don't need to. They could swing here, but I'm much more of a fan in these situations to get in the net, because you can hit it outwards. The amount of high-level players you'll see sit here, the ball bounce down, hits their car and go in is unreal. You see it in RLCS as well. So here. Now, again, let's go back to what we said earlier. If I'm in this position, what do I see? Well, I see this guy's going arrow, but I also see my teammate is on the backboard protecting high. So what should I protect if my teammate's protecting high? I protect low. So Daniel comes in there. I mean, you're not going to get the save, but you should protect low. Right here, we got 2 protecting high. So if that was a dead ball, it's still a goal. Okay, here we go. Another kickoff. Another kickoff lost to the back corner. And there we go. Add this to your game. Add this to your game today. Grab the back boost. Go up the backboard. Don't hit the ball away. Don't hit the ball away. Own it. Own it. Own it. Boom. Now we own the ball. That's massive. Okay? We don't have to throw this ball away. Biggest mistake I see in the ranks, throwing the ball away. You can start your offense here. Boom. Go up. Fake it. Look at what this does, by the way. To Kairos. Look. And that is actually how you beat Zen. So if you go and watch Zen replays, he always does this. He always does the pre-jump, and crazy enough, the players just play it into him. The awareness from Daniel here is to not play it into them. But I do think this could have been improved even further, in my opinion, with a team play. Okay, so obviously they're not in comms, but I really feel that the game could develop so much more in the future with some really strong team plays in the defensive area. This is something that was brought into the game. People were doing it early. Then they got rid of it because of all that you can do in the air. And now what we're seeing is actually it's so easy to block players in the air. And people need to go back to that because it's fine that you could say aerial's a higher percentage, and that's fine. I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is do everything. Have everything. You don't see a basketball player just only shooting threes. They'll still drive in and make a layup, and vice versa. So here, brilliant fake. Yep, show them the first half they expect. Give them the second half they don't. I'm going to say it again. Show them the first half they expect. Give them the second half they don't. One of the most important things in this game. You can do that. You've got to be head and shoulders above everyone. So we own the ball in the corner. Now, here's what I love to see in the future. Instead of us thinking we're going to go for a full map air dribble, think how almost crazy that sounds. A full map air dribble from the ground. That's a lot of boost. Wouldn't it be great if instead we quickly switch here and just shoot the ball on the bounce? So as it comes down here, or you go up and you just jump up here and you just shoot it into this passing lane. And players are becoming aware of it. So you know that your teammate will pass it because it's obvious. You know, this is how you would play this in a sporting manner. Imagine this is football, 2v2 football. Would you realistically, now be honest with yourself, would you expect the player to go right at the player, do some fancy footwork, try and get around, do some fancy footwork, they'll be knackered? Or would you expect them to just crack a pass into the open area for their teammate? Exactly. So when this comes into the game, and it might do when they're in comms, that's when I'm going to see this game, I believe, we're going to see the game really, really get good. Because right now, the game is very basic in the sense where a lot of people just dive, but even at the pro ranks, we see air dribble, save, repeat, air dribble, save, repeat, air dribble, save. No one's using lateral movement, no one's creating openings, no one's using their teammates effectively. They're basically playing for 50-50s and hoping their teammate follows. So you see here, it's a good fake, but by doing this fake, what we're doing is first of all, notice the pro player doesn't dive. They hover away. Their momentum is moving towards their net as they're putting a hand in the face. Okay? This is exactly what you need to do. Alright? If you're getting air dribbled, you should be instantly jumping, blocking high to force them low. And the issue with this is now look what's happened. Daniel hasn't created anything. Again, this is not a knock on Daniel. This is exactly what I'm doing, okay? I'm just saying what I see. So, he hasn't really created anything, but he's just lost this much of the map. And that in turn has allowed this player to get this much closer, which has now took away all these extra lanes. This guy now getting nervous or knowing the meta, which is I'm going to play for the 50, has now collapsed the area. And what this is you've created a strong side. Okay, everyone's on the strong side, but here's a weak side. And if we could expose this, if we could put this guy here, fake the aerial, just literally don't even touch the first ball, land, wham, bam. Something along those lines. Maybe there, pass it, and this guy goes for an aerial backboard touch or something like that, because you've instantly collapsed the first defender. But good play nonetheless, goes up again, and this is what will happen to you guys. Ask yourself this question. How many of you guys are trying to add air dribbles into your game right now? Probably most of you. How many of you, when you go to do your air dribble from the bounce, have gotten bumped off the ball? I would imagine every single person has gone for the air dribble, got bumped off the ball. Gone for the air dribble, got bumped off the ball. Okay? We are trying to go over the obstacle. And that isn't always the right thing to do. Go round them. Go round them. Alright, so we try to go over them, and it just costs us resources. If we tried to go round them, we'd still be with the ball, we'd have more resources, and we'd open up map space. Just consider that. Again, not knocking Daniel, but the idea of this is what can we learn from Daniel, and what also can we, take away. So, due to this close positioning, what happens is we force a rotation. Whereas here, I'd quite like to see no force of rotation, and then Daniel just goes up here and starts to hover. Because he's so close anyway, and he's almost like coming from behind, so he could come from behind, or even if he's slightly in front and get the block there. And then Nafi could be here. Once that block comes in, he could move into this. Because look at where Kairos is positioned. Okay, but the rotation happens nonetheless. And this again important. So Daniel going to the backboard. Good from Nafi to go up. Exactly what he should do. Exactly what you should do. Really, really good. Again, you could argue, if you wanted to, that Nafi could have got up a little bit quicker. Bump now, go up straight away. And then Daniel could have stayed here, low. So when this block comes in, he now moves into it much quicker. And now he's underneath, which means he can propel the ball upwards. Up, now, bang, now I can go for an air dribble. Now I can go for a shot. Now the net is open. By, again, stacking 2 men high, not that, it's not a terrible idea or anything like that, but by stacking 2 men high, you are concerned about the fair dues, but that should be enough to force an amendment to the shot. Either they're going to have to force them low, which is great because we just pick it up, or they're going to save it, which they do. So that's where Daniel could stay low, move into the ball quicker, use less resources, and also be able to get under the ball and get vision, so we could either pop that ball up or take it up, go into an aerial, whatever. First versus last, he could just do a full map air dribble bump at this level, or he could even shoot it. But by going onto the wall here, he's now above the ball. Again, this is not terrible. I cannot stress that enough. And he's obviously looking for a pinch here after that hit to pinch it forward. But he's matching the height of the ball. You cannot have a go at him for that. This is solo queue. You want to take less risk. Brilliant play. This is why it's so important not to turn ball cam off when your teammate's about to get challenged. Notice this. Daniel knows he's about to get challenged, goes back into ball cam, and now he sees this 50s coming in, so he turns away. Really important. So often you'll see players just autopilot to the boost in car cam, or they'll even they'll actually go into it, see that their teammate's being challenged, and just carry on going for the boost. Doesn't matter. It does not matter that he's got a 100, like a 0 boost here. Look at this beautiful fundamentals, by the way. Gets to clear. Okay, moves into this, and boom, tail whip flick. Tail whip flick, guys. How many years have I been saying about this move? Okay, almost as long as I've been talking about the hook shot. Second thing I mentioned. So here, turn, gets a save. The reason he shot that is because he's last man. He doesn't want to get demoed, doesn't want to jab it up. So just get rid of it, trying to create space, and then wham! Best play, most efficient play there is, the tail whip flick, because now you've put the ball high, difficult to control and return fire, and it means that players have to slow down to control it. That's why this move's so powerful. Once you collapse defend, look, bunk, they can't just go up and into that. It's too low percentage, so you have to look how slow they have to go to get the control here, and boom, we're back in the game if we're Daniel. We've managed to go in with front ending, so we've used, this is just pure fundamental. Tail whip flick, front end aggression, boost grab. And he's gone onto the inside position, not wide. And if he didn't get involved there, it would be much easier for Daniel, quite frankly, because he grabbed this and he could defend from behind, which is a big piece of the puzzle a lot of players are missing here. He could actually just turn here like this, and now bonk, take the ball off this player. Our team remains with the possession. They're going to start getting annoyed, and Nafi could be literally back here. Doesn't even need to get too involved because we're going to take the ball away and then create our offense. But by getting involved here, he's forced to challenge, and that's him out of the game. Never attack an attacker. One of the first rules in the pacifist book, and I'm not here to promote the book, okay? But I'm just saying, this is offensive defense. You are in the opponent's offense and you are defending them. You should not be attacking attackers. You should be defending them. The easiest way to defend is to let first man stay on it, and the best way to defend at the highest ranks is to defend from behind. Because it does one of two things. If I'm Daniel, if I'm here, and I didn't rotate, bump, demo, ball take. Or this guy goes, oh my god, he's on, I'm going to rush my touch. Perfect. You've thrown it all away, straight to my second man. Mission accomplished. But instead, we get pulled into challenging. And now look. And look what Daniel does so well. Absolutely fundamental. Comes into the middle. Does not face the play at all. Continues to move towards his camera. Okay, this is known as shadowing, inside shadowing. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically putting yourself... this is a perfect hybrid second man. Wow, really impressive. So he's put himself here. Okay, you've got the line down the middle. You've got the ball here. Let's just say that's the middle line of the ball, somewhere there. And he's put himself in between this area. All right, and that's perfect. Really good play there. He's given himself enough space. He goes up early, matches the height of the ball, and then just plays it to the corner. Because you'll see this a lot of times. Players will push up too far forward up to Daisy. They'll push up and they'll try and save it to the middle. Stop saving balls to the middle because you're just going to get scored on. Just because you think you can drop it to the middle, land and score, don't do it because you probably can't. And if you want high percentage play it to the middle and you're probably not going to get scored on much at all. And again, look at this. So, instead of getting pushy in the corner, first thing he does, boom, back onto the backboard, matches the height of the ball straight away and blocks it coming across the face of the net. Perfect. First thing my dad said to me was, in football, you might have heard this if you watched old replay reviews, when I used to play football, never let the ball cross the face of the net. Brilliant. Well played. And again, back in this, it's almost like a hybrid shadow, okay? What you'll notice here is that as a first man, we're looking a bit discombobulated here because we're stacking in, we're moving, and then again it's gone, and then we're trying to turn here, and we're just creating a separation. Whereas, you know, we could do something more with this. That challenge was really a huge mistake, in my opinion. People will say why it was a challenge in the corner. Because if this player, now if he gets this challenge right, look at his boost. He is on 8 when he goes for the final touch here. 3, I do apologize. How is he going to move into that play? Are we really blocking danger here? Or are we blocking the perception of danger? I would argue the latter. I don't think there is any danger here, quite frankly. The danger is in not owning the possession and containing. By diving, we don't contain them. We let them free again. Look, now they've got freedom of movement. They've took the ball back, surprise, surprise. And wait until, and I said it many years ago, and you can see it on the channel, a couple of people have posted it, that in the future, everyone, I said this, I think 2.5, maybe 3 years ago, will be taking the ball back, coming off the backboard and scoring goals because you've got map space, you've got the flip resets, and if you're like players like Zen, you can flip reset and like launch it into another flip reset and sort of do like a diagonal. The movement's crazy that players are able to do. And that's why it's so important not to dive on balls unless they're truly dangerous, and I don't think that was. And I also didn't think it was the right move for someone to dive on it with low boost. The ultimate play would have been to put it into the corner. Daniel's trying to read that they might come across here, gets the boost, comes onto the ceiling, and looks for a block. And again, this is far too aggressive. We are reaching. We are reaching. We do not need to reach like this. Okay? Because, boom, you're out the game instantly. And unfortunately, he's on 0 boost and he's ended up on the backboard. Just because you're Daniel and you're like one of the greatest defenders in the world right now, arguably top 2, top 3, doesn't mean you have the ability to dive on the ball. Because what it does, creates conflict, creates discipline. You know, you're going against you're not being a pacifist. You're attacking. You're being aggressive. You're trying to create a war with the ball. You're not moving with it. You're not being its friend. And here is the reason why this is so deadly. Because it allows this player to go for a demo. And unfortunately, they don't score. Let's see why they don't score here. Bit of a heavy touch. Boom. This should definitely have been a goal. They did the right thing by keeping it low. So what you need to do, if you're K-Roast, is when you see a player kick out like this, slam your brakes on. Trust me, slam your brakes on right now. This is such a high percentage play. So you come here, slam your brakes on, right? Because if they continue to move away, brilliant, you can re-move back in. You've got enough boost to do so. If they stop, which they will, then you get them. Trust me, this braking thing, I'm surprised more people don't do it. It's powerful. It's really powerful. But anyway, a massive overcommit there. Completely unnecessary. I think possibly a bit of frustration due to giving up so much space. And I'm not a huge fan of this either. Because right now, we're following in really close as second man. And then it causes us to be in line with our first man. Sorry, with our second man we're following. And now we're in line with our first man, which means there's an opening. If this 50 pinches towards the net, it's a goal. If this 50... Not that I agree necessarily with this 50, but they've sort of caught him as he was trying to do... He's just overhandling the ball. But if this pinch is high and their second man is actually active in the play here, boom, you know, this could be a real issue if that went high. So just something to be concerned about here. But I'm not a massive fan of this sort of stuff because actually if you look at it, this is SSL, pro level, RLCS contenders. What was the point of that? We just gave the ball to the second man. It looks good, it feels good, but it is often an illusion of being progressive, you know, of being proactive, not progressive, that's the wrong word, but being proactive. We're not truly proactive here. We're playing it away. Good soft touch from Daniel. And again, it's good timing from Kairos, to be fair. Risky, again, because, you know, if people start seeing this game really as a pass-first mentality, once people unlock that, which will happen, it will happen. The game is developing all the time. But you imagine now, because O'Khalid was brilliant. I know exactly what O'Khalid would have done. I used to watch that guy all the time. He would have come up here, jumped off, he would have air rolled here, and he would have just cracked the ball into this open space, thinking that this player will just turn, speed flip, get to the open space, and score the goal. Guarantee it. Players are moving away from that. Players aren't thinking about the pass. The pass is a perfect play here, but we didn't go for it. Okay, we could have gone for the pass, in my opinion. But again, this is where I think the game's really regressed, even at the pro level. It's all aerial, 50, hope my teammate cleans it up, and rinse and repeat. Whereas I really feel, if, you know, first of all, I mean, look how mechanical these guys are. Oh, there's a great bit of play here. But look how mechanical these guys are. So a lot of people will watch this and they'll think about, or they'll watch pro players and they'll just see the mechanics and that they scored from mechanics, but they're not seeing of what they could have done in every single situation to score or to alleviate pressure. So anyway, let's get back into this. So Daniel takes a soft touch to stay with it. Arguably a safer option than the pass, in all fairness, because things could have gone wrong. And then here, I really like this. So Daniel gets high onto the backboard, gives himself the vision, always match the higher the ball. This now prevents a backboard play, which slows down the offensive player in Plexi to go for these flip resets. Now here's the brilliance of this. What happens is, now if he goes up, and as now if he goes up, Daniel goes down. And that's why it's so important to have the read of who's, you know, who's doing what. And also, it's all based on the nameplate. And the ability to know that that ball can't really go up. Well, it could, but it's low percentage. And again, I think we actually had this similar play when we just did the coaching series. And I need to upload an episode, by the way. So just so you know, the coaching series with Chad and Eric, they are now both Champ 1. And they started on Diamond 2, they're both Champ 1. Really impressed with what they're doing. And this was one of the plays that they scored from last week, where second man's challenging you in your own corner. Just drive through them like that. And it's going to be a real difficult time for them. So, yep, difficult time. So, if we look at this, right? Again, if we did think more about passing the ball, imagine. Because here, what have we just done there? Have we given the opponent the ball? Yeah. You know what I mean? So why not stay here? Imagine this, right? Stay here for a second. Now move across into this position. And this guy on the ball, Daniel, instead of like attacking, and instead of like you guys getting in the same area, he just jumps and touches this ball into the middle. And you're here with 100 boost. With a lateral ball, you can do a bounce dribble power shot. You can bounce into your aerials and do your spins and do your heart's content, and you're probably scoring. We call that trailer in the passive system. Okay? So we're missing out, I really believe, on some of these plays. But anyway. Good demo. Bit of a risky boost grab here. It's last versus last. Sorry, first versus last, which is always risky to leave them. As in the opponent's first man versus our last man. If we're Daniel. And he's trying to get the block here or the fake. It can be risky doing this in twos. That is tends to be more of a freeze play. Because what it does is it puts you on the outside of the ball. So we saw earlier when Daniel was defending, what made him so effective at defending was the way he drops into the inside position. He's going quite wide there. Now, he could be going wide to bait the play, which it looked like he was, to then go inside again. Boom. Inline shadow that one. But you'll see a big thing to take in. He hasn't dived yet. The one time he did dive, he missed the ball, and it should have been a goal. Hasn't dived yet. Sees him on the ball. Goes into a shadow. Goes up. Touches it to the side. You can actually practice this stuff. And I'm going to make a video on it soon with Rocket League Dojo, the training thing. So easy to install. So easy to use. And you can basically set an AI to attack you in certain situations, which is a really cool way to do stuff. So again, hanging around here. Pushing into the offensive area. Potentially, I mean, they're looking for the pickup. Potentially here would be cool, because imagine again, I think if this was Monkey Moon, this would be a different story, because Monkey Moon's really good at this. But if you follow up as a second man, and you've got a real good first man on the team. Not saying that obviously they're way better than me. By the way, all these players are way better than me, but I'm just pointing out what I'm seeing and that I think could be incorporated, okay? I'm not an amazing player like these guys. Nowhere near, not even close, not even 50% as good as these guys, by the way. You know what I mean? I'm probably 20% of the way there. So as this guy comes up, instead of shooting to net, so obvious, imagine if he just air rolled and shot the ball down here into the middle, or skimmed it into the middle, straight into Daniel's hands, straight into the open net. Or takes the energy, boom, bounce dribble, fake, grab the boost, boom, boom, shoots it back, because now if he's recovered, he's landed here, boom, now he gets it, bam. So much you can do when you think more about the team and passing. Just a flip reset, gonna back off. A good job again. You know, Daniel's so good at this. Just the speed he can match the ball, so he obviously can't go up and do anything there, and it's good calmness from Naofi not to go. But yeah, just matching the height of the ball here, using the nameplate to give him the best idea of where the ball is most likely to be going prior to a dodge. So you see here, basically what you want to do and want to get really good at is putting your car, when you're in a defensive area, in the middle, so the ball is in the middle of the opponent's nameplate. So it would be like there. That's basically where Daniel is. And then what you do is, if we slow this down to 10%, now it's there, right? So right when the moment strikes, if we go right and center that ball in the nameplate, the ball should basically come right to us. All right, it's the easy way to defend. So Daniel's done that to the best of his ability in this situation. He's got nice and high, match the height of the ball, boom, you can add this to you. Again, notice whenever he rotates around this way, he always goes up the backboard. He does not, which I see a lot, come here and flip and go round the back. That is nuts. Don't do it. Just go straight onto the backboard. You need that backboard presence. Also allows you, when you rotate in this manner, to see if your teammate's on the backboard. If they are, stay low. If they're not, you go up, which is exactly what happens. Again, he tries to block it to the best of his ability or match where he thinks it's going to go. And even if you're a little bit out due to the speed of the game, you should be able to recover into the path of the ball, knowing that they'll obviously shoot towards net and not to the corner. So it's not too hard to work out. Nice idea on the shot there. Yeah, good finish. So what you'll find with a lot of this is Champ 2 dreams, okay? They still happen in pro level. What we've got here, that's a cool view, is we've got a second man. The second man should see that their first man's on 0 boost. Okay, they've got 2 minutes 7 left. They're going to go for a shot that's low percentage because there's 2 players in defense. This is almost a Champ 2 dream, realistically. It's obviously going to get saved. Now they're overcommit on the backboard. They knew their teammate was low when they overcommit as well. So now they're both low. And that gives time to go, boom, little flick over the top, boom, little shot, and now it's open. Daniel, boom, puts it across. That's a great read. But all because they're trying to score low percentage angles. And that's just a really nice play there from Naofi. Really, really good. Good follow from Daniel. Excellent. So, yeah, you know, we see a lot of overcommits in these ranks. Good boost grab. Now, again, look how he's going up already, thinking about it. And it allows him this opportunity. Could he have gotten higher? I believe he should have gotten higher, personally. Just a little bit higher often helps, because what will happen here is they're usually going to continually try to put it high around the backboard. It's just how players have been trained. And then you could come off and just shoot that on. Okay? But, you know, everyone's different there. He might have felt something different. But now look at that potential opening. Look at that potential opening. Let's have a look at this turn. So here I actually thought he was going to just shoot that. Like a little bit too long, but this is a really good unexpected play here from Plexi. Let's have a look what happened. Again, a bit of a Champ 2 dream. I'm really surprised he got away with that. That's actually incredible. Such a surprise there. But this is one of the reasons you kind of want to clear defense first. What I mean by that is there's 2 ways to touch a ball in a very basic fashion. You can either touch the ball to net, which requires oftentimes, because the ball will never be directly center, requires you to be on the outside of the ball, which is this situation here. What this tells me, if you're looking at the game from like an analytical standpoint, Daniel is thinking in an offensive manner. His mindset is offensive / potentially playing it into space. Potentially. The problem when you become into this offensive mindset is it takes you away from goal side. One of the reasons that it's so impressive and a good idea to attack the middle is that you can actually attack in a safe manner because your hitbox is always behind the ball, directly in front of the net, which is known as a goal side position. So in this situation here, what I think would be a better idea with the scoreline being quite close is to come from the inside position and think about clearing the ball into space / taking ownership first, then thinking about taking the middle. Or if you are going to take that middle, take it earlier. Okay, so if you watch this again, you'll sort of understand. We look at positioning. Right now, we're on the inside. Difficult to say. We're still on the inside here, just about. Now we're on in line, because we're right in line with the ball. And now we've kicked out. So we've shifted our mindset. We are thinking about an air. Daniel's thinking about an air dribble here, I think. I don't even think he's thinking about a shot. And this is another reason I'm not a fan of air dribbles, because they take too long. And in traffic like this, it does give those openings. Good block. To be honest, yep, that's fine line. That's a fine line. I do just think here, I'll just act it out. Just wait a second, flicking it out of ball cam, and then come here like that. Because then if the shot is on, you can go whoops and just like touch it to the side. But again, difficult one. That's a great turn and finish right from Daniel's blind spot. And again, super soft controlled touch, staying close to the ball with the flip reset, gets the double and looks for the dunk there. Let's have a look at now if he's positioning. Trying to go for a double as well. And now it could be dangerous. But they've managed to get the clear. Daniel's on the ball. He's going to take the boost. Going to come up. And now look at this. Beautiful play. Doesn't challenge this. Doesn't attack it. Doesn't even need to hit this ball. Really learn from this guy. He doesn't even need to hit the ball and he doesn't. Instead, look at that drill. Does it look familiar? Takes the ball to the corner. The wraparound. Owns it here. Goes for an air dribble. I mean, this is powerful stuff. And then goes for a poke. I don't know how Plexi saved this. But this was such a brilliant play here. Does the fake. Uses the ball. By the way, this is really advanced. So what actually Daniel's doing here is he's blocking the demo attempt. Believe it or not. This is really high level ball, like car movement. And this is why like a lot of people don't understand the fundamentals so deeply. Is because they don't really understand how important just driving is. Here, say if like Plexi's got 100 boosts. Because we don't know that, right? He could have 100 boosts. We could have more boosts. He could look to demo Daniel, right? But the problem is with Daniel being so sort of close and using the ball to hide behind, I need to come over and scoop up. And if I miss, I'm screwed. If you look at this from Plexi's position, he can't get the demo. Look at this one more time. Daniel's using the ball to shield himself from danger. Look at that. And then he's off and he's gone. He's just blocked it. And then look at this from Daniel's perspective, just so you know how he's using this ball. Block, 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 and then boom. Clever. Notice a little slowdown. Using the ball, staying by the ball, and then goes for an air dribble. Now, I really like the air dribble here from this particular position. He did it earlier, but there's a very big difference. Earlier, they weren't on a counter-attack. Earlier, they weren't set. The defenders were both pushing away, and the challenge was much more dangerous. Here, they're really reaching. But, I mean, even there, you could potentially do a flick, but the air dribble works better here because it allows you to stay with the ball and not throw it away. This is a perfect play, and the idea to go for a pogo is actually quite genius because it lifts it up. So I'm curious how they didn't score this. Wow. Wow, that's impressive. So now if he notice the difference. So in here, he stops his car and then he re-speeds up. Really well played. But here, he should have stopped his car again because this is where the defender needs to defend. Like if you can stop your car here and force them to drive into the net, you're probably scoring that. But if you just go a little bit too much, then now you could stop your car, jump up, and then just dodge into them. Easier said than done, don't get me wrong. And it's brilliant bit of defending from Plexi. We've got to see this. I mean, brilliant. I mean, that is really top world-class defending. Great little tail whip flick there. And the thing is with this aerial, it doesn't do a lot. Because it basically gives the opponent the possession again. And just takes away your boost. So, could you do something else here? No, I mean, that makes sense. Just play it there and try and get some resources. But it just so you know, that's not dangerous. Okay, and again, let's watch Daniel. Again, something you can learn here. Onto the backboard, matching the height of the ball. Really good at that. Really good. And again, he's not diving in. He's dove in once all game. One time all game, Daniel's dive. No wonder he's so good. No one's got 6 saves here. Okay, they've got a load of saves. One dive. Not a huge fan of that. Gonna work out. But I do feel that this could be dangerous. But then again, he sees Naofi with 0 boost. That's why he's coming in. He's Naofi with 0 boost. Naofi does the right job by doing a single jump 50. Just find the gap. Risky, but it works. Here, this is all fake. This is all fake. He's just faking that to play for the boost. He knows the boost is up. He's using that to fake Kairos. So here, look, it still looks like Daniel's going to do something. So he plays more for the block. It forces him up. If he stops boosting and just drives down to the ground there, it gives Kairos a little bit more time to think about controlling the board. So by doing that, although it looks a bit like, huh? That's why he's doing it. It's just because he knows the boost is up. He knows where he's landing. It's just to force him to do something. Good central position. I love that. I love that. I mean, this is the opposite of a Champ 2 dream. First of all, it's a 2v1. So many people would dive into this and flip it and just hope they power it through the defender. Daniel turns his car nice and acutely to get a real tight angle on this and just jabs it to the ground. It's just such a smart play. And that's what I love to see. Players moving around the opponents. Really key. You can add that into your game. So far, there's a couple of things we can add to our game. The first is he's never diving. He dove once. So, like, let's see if we can dive once. Let's see if we can match Daniel's dive. Okay? And the speed they're playing, like low 60s, by the way, is as slow, if not slower, than Diamond players. Keep that one. Oh, guys, let's look at this. So he backpedals as a first man to get his momentum moving towards his net. Then he goes for an aerial. And now look, his movement is away towards his net as he gets the hand in the face. Beautiful. This means that when he lands by the net. That's defending. That's world-class defending. Most people hover forward. Apart from guys like Zen, well, any pro, they don't hover forward. But most everyone else, you know, if you're, let's see, Platinum, High Platinum, Diamond, Champ, you guys fly into things. Pros don't. They stay still and they go up and away. Okay? So that's how you want to be thinking. Up and away. Brilliant move here. Brilliant push. And again, takes his time here. I actually like this because he doesn't need to score this. He needs to waste time. He could score this, but he got burned earlier when he went into an outside position. Although he could just score that. He doesn't need to. But this is just smart. He stays in a goal side position between the ball and his goal, I should say. If you actually look, you imagine if you try and force this to net, you're going to hit Daniel, and that's what that means. He's blocking that area. Just puts it high, waste time, and again, oh my god, he does it again. Does what again? Hovers as first man. He's up and away. Up and away. You know, what's the theme song on Home and Away? Up and Away, Hot Summer's Day, something like that. You come up with a rhyme if it helps you remember. Just move away from the play. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Good reach. Close one there. Could have been more central in my opinion. Could have been more central, but gets the save-ish. Good passing play. I like to see that. And then again, doesn't fly forward. It's just so key to know this. Doesn't fly forward. Just blocks the net. Just blocks it. And then just taps it away. It's just really solid play, this is, guys. So let's take some stuff that we can incorporate right away from Daniel's gameplay. Imagine if rank didn't feel random. If every player on your team knew where to be, what to do, and how to win without panic. That's what we're building. In the next Pacifist System cohort, starting January the 17th, you will join 19 others learning the exact system we use to go undefeated from Grand Champ 1 to Grand Champ 2. Not with speed, but with control, positioning, and restraint. Over the 6-week course, you'll get 36 hours of live group lessons, including drills, scrims, and a team of like-minded players. A private Discord to chat to pacifist graduates from the past and future. Resources that you can keep forever that scale with your ranked improvement. And 6 hours of one-on-one coaching with myself. This isn't just coaching, it's a full system for climbing rank together. owners of my Rocket League book get 20% off the cost of the course, which means it's actually cheaper to buy the book and the course than it is to buy the course itself. But this is the last time it'll be available at this price. However, even if you can't join this one, you can register now and lock in this price for the next cohort. There's only 20 spots available. To find out more, visit airchargedrl.com. The first one is he doesn't dive into the play. He actually moves away from it and then makes a save at the end, ideally trying to get the ball to the corner. How would you practice this? Reset. Actually, let me get my controller up so you can see this. You can just add this right away to your game today. If you're a champ and below, grand champ and below, come into an inline shadow, press left on the pad, okay, so it comes towards the net here, and just get used to turning, locking it to the corner. Coming in, fake, turn it on, bam, lock it to the corner. Just get used to driving towards the screen and flipping the other way. So that's the first thing he does. The other thing he does is when he's rotating and he grabs this boost, he goes up the backboard and he tries to match the height of the ball. So if the ball's that high, he's that high, okay? And then that way, if it comes over, he's always near the ball. He's always near the ball, okay? So that's the next thing you can add. And one of the last things you can add is how much of his offense comes from the corner. So his own corner, that is. So he'll often get the ball back, come up, block, 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 use the ball as a weapon to block, and then he's here. Now, don't get me wrong, he goes for air dribbles from this position, but if you're not as impressive as that, you could absolutely just come in field and look for a simple hook shot. It's not an issue. So those are things you can work on today to simply improve in your gameplay. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. We have the marbles race. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon. Peace, peace. Okay, here we go, everybody. It is time for the monthly marbles race to win a free coaching session. So these are all the people who are supporting either via Patreon or have left a book review. We're going to start a game. If you've left a book review, there are 18 book reviews, all 5-star, which I really do appreciate, on Amazon. So if you've left a book review, come to the Discord and just share it. Just share it in the room, the book review room, and you will get added to this race, the winner of which, we do this once a month, will get themselves a free coaching session with myself, a 1-hour coaching session to hopefully level you up and see how you're improving. But if you don't want to do a review, I've got to make it even easier for you. If you don't have the book and you still want to get a replay review for free, you can do that. It is Christmas, after all, the month of Christmas, December. So I've put a new room in the Discord, as I mentioned earlier. It's called Replay Review. Send your replays in. For every person who sends their replay in, we will do a full-on marble race. I'm expecting it to get pretty busy. If you've got the book, if you are a Patreon supporter, if you are a member of any of the past Fizz systems or have gone to any coaching, you will get 2 marbles in the race. It is really worth doing, guys. It's a free chance to win a replay analysis and also just a bit of fun. Let's have a bit of fun. We're going to be doing them weekly. I want to be able to try and support as many people in as many ranks as possible. So, I really do appreciate the support, guys. It means a lot. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, today, this race is for the 1-hour session, an actual coaching session, not replay analysis, an actual session back and forth. And so in the lead is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Fuse, and he looks like he might have just gone away with it. It doesn't look like he's in any danger here. Doesn't look like there's any stoppers at the end. Is he going to do it? Tom, it looks like it could be you. And it is. Congratulations, Dom. Thank you so much for the support. Really do appreciate it. Message me on Discord for a free coaching session in second. Laxap, still message me. You haven't got yours from last month, so please do message me and you'll get your free analysis. Free coaching session. Jimmy, thank you so much for the support. Burnham, Emmanuel, T-Buck, Solomon, guys, and Auntie all the way at the back there. Cosmo and Sparrow did fall off. There should be 2 others in the race. Not sure where they are as well. They might fall off earlier. But guys, thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot. We're going to be doing a lot of replay analysis over December, trying to help as many people as we can into the new year. Thank you so much. Look after yourselves and peace out. Peace, peace.